you guys, I thought I'd just pop in and say hello to you. I can't remember what I said about how my videos would be on this channel. I think I was just gonna wait and see, but I definitely miss talking to you guys. And I've had a week off now and it's been really enjoyable, really relaxing, really nice to not have any deadlines, and most of my deadlines are just YouTube focused, so it was really nice to not have to do anything but to just go, what am I going to do today? And so I've been able to get my tax return done, so I've completed my tax return. I mean, I didn't need to do that until January, but it's just one of those things that I don't like leaving until the last minute, you know, so that's all done. I cleaned the front patio with the pressure washer, so that's now all completely done. As far as cleaning goes, what I now need to happen is I've ordered some, it's the oil that we used on the back garden. It doesn't look very good at all, so I'm hoping that a second layer is going to sort that out. I may need to end up getting some kind of spray gun or something to make it look decent, but I'm waiting for it to arrive from Amazon because it was actually a lot cheaper, like about half price on Amazon, so I'm waiting for that to arrive. Once that arrives, I need to wash the back patio again because it's now got, unfortunately, bird poop on it because we've got a pigeon's nest above our patio. So before I can put the rest of the oil on, I need to clean it again, but it won't, hopefully it won't take as long as it did before because there's not all the algae to get off, you know. I'm really looking forward to getting that crossed off the list though, to getting the patio done and just saying, right, that's it, finished, and you know, for another couple of years, because by putting the oil on it, it should mean I don't need to do it next year. So halfway through that, I have had my massage, which was really lovely. Lovely to catch up with Claire, the girl that does it. We always have a good old natter. We've got so much in common, and I do sometimes wish I could just lie there and enjoy it, if you like, but I have to be honest, most of it is painful because she's really digging into muscles and she presses on the bit that causes the headaches, and it does definitely make a difference and make things better, but it's not the kind of massage where it's just, you know, music and essential oils. It really is a proper, because it's an osteopath I go to, it's not a massage place or a beauty place, it's an osteopath, so it is really deep massage. And she said you're going to be sore afterwards. She actually wanted me to come back again this week, that we can't really afford it. We just are still sort of catching up since Watson's, all of his vet bills, because it ended up totaling just under £1,000, and it took ages for them to pay the first claim, and we've literally not even got the second two claims yet, and then there's another claim to go in, and then we also need to, I paid again on Thursday last week, had to take his poop in to be tested again for the Campylobacter, and so that cost another £100, and then I'm about to order some of his Apoquel, which is for his allergies, and that will be another £100. You know, there was just so many payments related to Watson's health that I couldn't afford to do it this week. I'll need to wait till payday and then have another one. I can actually feel I've got a headache coming on the left-hand side of my head today, but I think that sometimes happens when I have a massage from her. So a few weeks afterwards, I get a couple of headaches, but then it seems to clear it, and the days in between don't feel half as bad, if that makes sense. There's a couple of ideas that I wanted to look at that were kind of business ideas, because I still want to contribute, as I've always said, regardless of how much Kev is earning. I'd still like to contribute. I'd like to feel a little bit of independence, a little bit of, I don't want to say value because it's difficult, because at some point I may not be able to do anything, and I hope that I'll be able to find value in just being me, but I feel like I'm well enough to do something, therefore I'd like to do so. I'd like to set something up now that is maybe a passive income. That's my hope. So you know that course I did on online grooming, that has become a passive income, because a passive income is where you do something once and it pays you for a long time, and that's what's happening with that online course. So, and it's not a massive income, I've earned I think £70 a month so far from that, but that's still, if you had, you know, 10 of those, that's £700. So there was loads of things that I wanted to look at. Teespring was one of them, and I did design a few t-shirts and put them up on there. I haven't actually looked. I'm assuming I'd have had an email if anybody had bought one, but I didn't promote them. I didn't put them on. Oh no, I did put one on. I did put one on my Facebook page, but I didn't really promote them because actually taking the time to design them took so long that I realised that's not for me. Teespring is not for me at all. So it's good to have that off the list though. Like I said, I've got a massive list. In fact, I've got the list here. Look how big my list is. And it's things like rewriting my Dear Universe which I have done. I need to amend my vision board because there's a few things on there. I had an elliptical trainer on there, and I did hire an elliptical, and it just didn't get used for one reason and another. So that shows me that it's not worth buying one. The exercise for me is walking Watson every day, and I quite enjoy that, you know. The two things that I'd wanted to look into were all to do with skincare. The first one is my book. Do you remember I've mentioned that I'm writing a book? And it's one that I've kind of thought about for a couple of years even, and I've always been putting a little bit of work into it, but it's something that, because it involves me sitting at the computer typing, it's just taken a long time. And the book is basically about skincare and all the ingredients there are and what is the evidence. So it would be skincare, what is the evidence, or something like that, and just a list of ingredients under different categories, so oils, hydrators, preservatives, that kind of thing, you know. I'm not 100% sure exactly how many ingredients to include in it and what way to do it, and I didn't ever want to approach a publisher. I'm not sure if I want to self-publish, as I did with my Dinner with the Dog and my the recipes book that I did. I don't know whether I want to self-publish or whether I want to approach a publisher, but if I approach a publisher, they would put deadlines on it, and because it's sitting typing and hurts my neck, I can't really have deadlines to that point. So what I've been trying to do is I tried in different ways to get somebody from the website called Fiverr, which is where you pay people to do things. And so I've paid somebody, you pay like I paid £3.49. That was Watson's skating down the hall for some reason, to get a girl to, as an audio typist, to transcribe my video on sea buckthorn oil and see if I could then amend it and how long that would take. But it took me 20 minutes to amend it because obviously a lot of what I'm talking about isn't relevant to a book and I need to make it more readable. So I'm kind of getting somewhere with that, you know, seeing which is the way, which method would be best. I thought about dictating it, dictating the pages of the book, but the problem is what I do is I research it for YouTube, and the way I do that is sitting in the living room with my iPad and I write out my notes. So I suppose I could then dictate from the notes and then get somebody to type from that, but it just seems pointless. I might as well sit and type it myself, you know. So that's what's been going on. I still had a few days where I've needed to lie down and sleep, but it was actually in the first couple of days last week. And as the week went on, I got better and better. And then over the weekend, Saturday, I did lie down for a couple of hours. Yesterday is the first day I felt like I had energy all day long. And I've been taking some more iron tablets because I thought that maybe my iron was low, the headaches, and then also the I'm taking Betmega again. I'm giving it one last shot, these bladder drugs, and they don't seem to be working, and they seem to be making me feel a bit rubbish, but I'm just going to give them my full attention because I know that with amitriptyline it took like a month until the side effects stopped from it, and amitriptyline I couldn't live without now as far as my bladder goes, so I really want to give it a good old go. So but yesterday, yeah, I had a whole day of feeling really energetic, and even Kev was like, oh my God, what are you doing now? Because it was 8:30 at night and I started hoovering and I'd cleaned out the kitchen cupboard and, you know, just things like that. So I felt happier at the end of the day. What has been happening with my knees, though, my knees have been really bad. But when I say they've been really bad, they've hurt towards the end of the walk. And then the following day, I've been able to walk no problem, which is really unusual because it used to be that my knees were, you know, once I'd overused them and they were aching or hurting, that it would last for a few days, whereas now they seem to recover better, and I don't know why, but we were talking about this yesterday, that when we first got Watson, I couldn't walk for more than 15 minutes, because I know this because I was in tears a lot because I wanted to be able to walk him a lot more, and we'd go on a walk and I'd say, no, I've got to turn back, I'm in too much pain, whereas now I can easily go for an hour. And I started to get pain, but it's finding that balance between, I feel like if you've got joint problems and whatnot, if I didn't do anything because of the pain, I would literally never do anything. So I feel like you have to put up with a little bit of pain, and it showed me that I'm right. And Kev's not very much a believer in that theory, because a lot of the time he's like, why would you continue walking when your knee's hurting? But I was trying to say to him yesterday, look what's happened. I can now walk for an hour, and you know, a couple of years ago I could only walk 15 minutes. So it's definitely worked in a sense, me putting up with the pain, you know. But not only that, like I said, my body obviously recovers better. However, in this last week, my Ehlers-Danlos has progressed in that I'm now having dislocations in my left knee. Now, my right knee is the one that's been operated on. I've had a lateral release and arthroscopy on my right knee. The left knee was supposed to be done, but because the recovery was so big and it was such a big operation on the right knee, I just put it off because I wasn't in so much pain with the left knee. But the more dislocations I get, the more painful it is. Dislocations, by the way, are something that most people with Ehlers-Danlos suffer with. The only thing that dislocates normally on me is my hip, and only when I'm like getting on and off a bike or like getting on the elliptical or putting my leg over, that my hip comes out of its joint and I put it back in again. My friend Janet, who had Ehlers-Danlos, also could dislocate her shoulder. She could just do this and take it out. But I'm lucky I've not had loads of dislocations, but now my left knee, every time I sit on the sofa, it's when I'm putting my leg to the side like that, the knee comes out and then pops back in again with an almighty pop. And the more it does it, the sorer it's getting. So I'm trying to adjust the way I'm sitting. But that's making things a bit more difficult because my left knee will hurt and then my right knee will hurt probably because I'm putting more pressure on it, you know. So I don't know how that's going to affect things, but we will see. Hopefully by adjusting my sitting position, I can avoid the dislocations. We still don't have a date from my dad for his wedding because this is all to do with their church. They're waiting for their church to agree to marry them because they've only met very quickly. They're supposed to do this long marriage course, etc., etc. And so also they're living between Edinburgh and Derby. Obviously my dad lives in Edinburgh and Eve lives in Derby, and so it's made it quite difficult, but they're hoping to get a date this week, and they're hoping it's going to be the 5th, I think it's the 15th of September. It's on a Saturday, and so what Kev and I have decided we might do is go on holiday for the week before it, because the journey time is a big problem from us, and we didn't know how we were going to deal with it because we don't have anybody to look after Watson. We certainly don't want to leave him in kennels. We may have a kind of daycare situation, but we haven't been to see them yet. That's at the end of May. But Eve thinks that Watson may be allowed in her church, so that's something else she's going to ask them. But it's a 6-hour drive, and we were like, there's no way Watson will last a 6-hour drive. And actually, I don't think I will. I certainly couldn't drive it myself because of my neck. It does definitely pull on my neck. And even sitting as a passenger for 6 hours would probably cause me headaches. So we said we really need to break it up and like stop somewhere at the 3-hour point. And it just so happens that York is halfway between here and Derby, and York has lodges. Do you remember we stayed in those lodges at the Lakes District last year? They've got those same lodges, so we think we might organise a holiday for the week before, and that at least breaks up the journey. So we drive for 3 hours, we've got our holiday, then we drive for 3 hours again to get to the wedding, and we'll stay somewhere down there for a couple of nights. And then I don't know what we'll do on the way back. We'll probably stop off just one night in a hotel somewhere in York, and you know, it'll be a big old holiday. So yeah, quite exciting. So hopefully I do get a date this week, because I know that they desperately want a date. They're getting really frustrated not having a date from their church, but they're determined they're going to get one this week. I understand, you know, the church want them to do it all right, but they're eager to get married so that Eve can move from Derby up here. I think Eve's waiting for a hip replacement, and that needs to be done down there. There's so many complications, and actually I feel like my dad's sort of turned into the carer, even though I was his carer, and he's got a lot of mobility issues, but hers apparently are worse. The two of them go around on their little mobility trolleys. It's quite funny. So before I go, I just want to show you a couple of things that I have bought, a couple that I'm enjoying, a couple that I'm not. The first thing is this, which you may have seen if you've been watching me on Facebook. It's the Saint-Tropez Gradual Tan 1 minute. It's a pre-shower tan. So I used this the first time and I left it on. Blimey, they're loud. Oh, he's standing right outside my gate and he's talking to somebody in a flat above. I left it on for about 5 minutes, and it was really nice and natural on my hands, and I was really chuffed with it. My hands today, by the way, are definitely a bit too dark brown, but this is just too much. I put 2 layers of a gradual tan on because I thought it wasn't going to be dark enough to match my arms, and that was just my mistake. But anyway, love this, absolutely love it. I posted it on a community post as well on YouTube. Really, really enjoying it. But don't leave it on for 1 minute because there's no colour at all for 1 minute. I then tested it, leaving it on for 20 minutes, way too dark. I would say 10 minutes will get you a decent colour tan, 5 minutes will get you a very light tan. But it's really nice because it's like a really thick, balmy type of, it's like you're putting on a really thick moisturiser, but it does kind of not sink in, but it does disappear. You know, there's a white sort of colour when you first put it on, and then it disappears. And I just put that on, and then like while I'm adding some cold water into my bath, and while I'm getting my iPad and sorting out what I'm going to watch or read or whatever, get in, wash it off, and then that's you done. And it's just nice and even. I feel like there's something about it that makes it more even than the usual tans, you know, because there's nothing really I can put on my hands, because I don't know whether you'll even be able to see it in the camera, but it's darker around the knuckles, and you know, look there, you can see that it's a lot whiter in there, and that doesn't seem to happen when I use this, so I'd highly recommend that. I'm really enjoying this. This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost capsule in serum. Really enjoying this. As you can see, because I'm already halfway down, it doesn't seem to pill or anything like that. It's vitamin E and hyaluronic acid, and just feels really, really lovely. You only need to use a little bit. You know me, I always like to use a lot anyway. And it feels really nice. And my skin is feeling a bit dry, I think, because I've been trying to use up my retinol in squalane. And so that's probably why my skin's feeling dry, and this has been really helpful. And then this I've got on today, but I've got a feeling this is going to be too sticky for me. It's the CYO lip gloss. Take a Shine, it says. This one is in Your Best Side. So it's just a pinky one. And yeah, it's nice, but like I said, I think it's just too sticky for me, because I noticed when I had it on the other day, my hair was sticking to it. But if you don't care about stickiness, this would be a great choice. The CYO, I've used their eyeshadow, pretty good. Foundation, pretty good. Bronzer, I've got the bronzer on today actually, and the blush. The blush and bronzer today is both from CYO. There's a lipstick from them. I am going to be doing a whole haul video when I get back to YouTube. But yeah, pretty good. CYO, by the way, is in Boots. It's a new brand. I don't know whether it's by Boots or not, but it's a cruelty-free brand, and it's so inexpensive. I think the foundation was £6, blush was £4, something like that, so really good prices. Final thing to show you, I'm a little bit annoyed at myself about, but it's this Violet Voss Pro. This is a hashtag palette, and it looks like this. And bottom row, absolutely beautiful. These are all the purples and kind of cranberry colours. But I don't wear those type of colours very much. But then it has got, you know, the kind of peachy colours that I love. I haven't yet tried this FOMO. I think I'm probably going to love that FOMO. But I just feel like it really is an addiction, and I'm like, why did you buy this? Because it's not like, yes, I love a coral or a peach eyeshadow. I've got so many pigments that I love to use, that because I buy new things like this, I know I don't buy nowhere near as much as I used to, but because I buy things like this, I tend to be using the new palettes rather than the pigments that I love. And I think what made me buy this one is because I had bought this. Let me show you. I don't think I've shown you this. This is the Revolution Pro HD Amplified palette, and it has got a lot of kind of peachy purple ones, peachy corally type colours. It has got some purples as well in it. But I don't like this. I know that people have been raving about it, but I just find I can't get enough pigment out of them. I've tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I was just like, no, I'm done. I know that I could try a lot more than that. 5 perhaps isn't enough to test it out, but I haven't liked any of the 5 I've used, so I was just like, no, this is not for me. And so I think I felt a bit cheated, and that's why I bought this, which is ridiculous, because the idea of buying the Pro HD was nothing to do with I need some new eyeshadows. It was more to do with I want to find something that is cruelty-free and drugstore that I can recommend to people. So this is not, well, actually I don't even know if it's cruelty-free. I think it is cruelty-free, but it's not drugstore, that's for sure. Anyway, I got it and I was tempted by it, and I've put another one on my birthday wish list. Kev asked me to put some things onto my birthday wish list, so I've put the Laura Lee, I think it's called. That looks like my sort of size, definitely. It's more like the Lorac Pro size. So I imagine he'll probably buy that for me, but I'm just like, what is wrong with us? You know, that we have to keep on buying these things. Like, why did I need to buy this? Because I've got practically every colour in here. And what's happening is things like my Lorac Pro, I've got 2 Lorac Pro palettes that I love. They're just not being used. And that's just 2 of the probably 20 odd palettes in my drawer. You know, it's wasteful. Anyway, so far I have used, today I've got this colour on, as you can probably tell. And I don't love this look today, I have to say. It's a bit too dark for me. I think I used that one there, Relevant, yesterday, and it was okay. I've used that one vacay, and Kev just went, oh, hello, orange eyes, and he doesn't like orange, so I know he didn't like that. And I've used that one called No Filter. Now, that one called No Filter, yes, it's lovely, but it's exactly the same as the one in the Jacqueline Hill palette that I love called Queen, so there's really no need for that. So as I'm using this palette, I'm thinking the things that make this unique for me are all the colours at the bottom, and so if I could just take that row out and keep it, it would be great, because I don't really use them that much. So I don't know, I think this might be one I end up giving away or selling, you know, putting on, because if I've got a palette that is a kind of current one, then I usually can sell it for an okay price. It'll be like, I don't know, half price or something by the time you include postage and everything. I'm interested in trying this one. I tried these two yesterday, but I used them together. Like put that one all over my lid and that one kind of on the inner third, and so I'd like to use them on their own and see what they're like, and I haven't used this one yet, so we'll see. But they're really nice shadows. Somebody told me that it's made in China. It doesn't say on the back, it says Violet Voss, Orange County, California. It doesn't say that it's made in China, so I don't know where that came from, but it's funny, the person put it and I was like, oh damn it, because it had already been ordered at that point, and I think the person that said it's been made, because I said on Instagram that I wanted it, was talking about the quality of it, which that doesn't bother me. I try not to buy things in where they're made in China, if at all possible, because of the cruelty to animals over there, not because the item is a non-cruelty free, if that makes sense. But actually it's impossible to not buy from China, really, because most stuff comes from there. Anyway, that's that. So don't love the Revolution Pro HD. Bought the Violet Voss and I'm not sure about it yet. I'm going to use it again for the next couple of days and see what I think. I think the other thing is as well, I haven't been wearing makeup. Like last week, I've just been wearing a little bit of blush, putting my eyebrows on, and then a little bit of lip gloss. And that's all I've been wearing. And I wanted a reason or a motivation to put makeup on, and a motivator for me is a new eyeshadow palette. So I think that's another reason why I was keen to get it. So that's everything for now. I'm going to have to edit this and put a background in. Oh, I've learned, that's another thing I've done off my list. I have learnt some Final Cut Pro and about the colours and how to put a background in here. I don't think I'm going to use this though, you know, the background situation, because I think it just looks a bit surreal, doesn't it? And there's no reason for that when I've got that nice sort of wooden background, etc. I forgot to take the green screen down today, so I probably will put an artificial background in for you guys because it will look a little bit nicer. And the green background that's there will look okay if I iron the actual background, you know. Anyway, lovely to speak to you all. I hope everything's going well for you guys, and I'll speak to you soon.